starting your day in reactive mode. So this is when you're checking your email or social media first thing. You're training your brain to respond to other people's priorities and not your own. And once you start reactive, your day stays reactive, okay? And the fix is to protect your first hour. Use it for movement, journaling, planning, or silence. Give your brain a calm start.
Welcome to What If It All Goes Right, the show for high achievers who are ready to stop fearing the worst and start stepping into their power. I'm your host, Angela Gargano, 6-time American Ninja Warrior, keynote speaker, peak performance coach, and former biochemist. Every episode, I'm going to give you the mindset shifts and practical tools to shake off the doubt, reignite your energy, and remember just how powerful you really are. Because it's time to stop fearing the worst and start asking, what if it all goes right? What if it's already going right?
Hey there, everyone. It's Angela Gargano, and welcome back to What If It All Goes Right. Today, we're talking about your energy. And I don't just mean motivation or willpower. I mean your actual capacity to show up, think clearly, and move forward in your life. Because here's the truth. You can have the best goals, the clearest vision, and the strongest worth ethic. But if your energy is constantly drained, you're literally not going to go anywhere. And most people don't even realize where their energy is going. They just know that they're exhausted, that they're overwhelmed, and that they're running on empty. And they blame themselves for not being able to keep up. But what if it's not you? What if you're just leaking power everywhere and you don't even know it? And in today's episode, we're doing an energy audit. I'm breaking down the 5 most common places you're bleeding your energy and giving you specific strategies to plug each of those drains. You're welcome. Pepper's clearly got no energy drains. She's clearly just always in sleep mode. But before we dive in, if you're loving these conversations, make sure you hit follow on Apple or Spotify so you don't miss an episode. And if you could please just leave a quick review or rating, me and Pepper would be super grateful. That's how we keep this community growing and reach more women who need to hear this. All right, let's get into auditing your energy. What do you think, Miss Pepper? You ready to audit some energy? She's on all sleep energy all the time mode. But she's perfect. She'll probably wake up halfway through this. Okay, number 1, your mental energy drains and how to protect your bandwidth. So let's start with the mental energy piece, because this is where most high achieving people are bleeding out. Your brain has limited bandwidth. And if you spend it all on low value tasks, you have nothing left for what actually matters. And here's where your mental energy is leaking. The first one is the one I hear all the time from so many of the high achievers that I work with and the keynote stages that I'm on. It comes up all the time. Decision fatigue. Every choice depletes your mental energy. What to wear, what to eat, whether to say yes to that meeting. And by the middle of the day, you are exhausted. And it's not from doing hard work, but from the hundreds of tiny decisions. And the fix to this is to batch your decisions. If you can, plan your meals on Sunday. Lay out your work clothes the night before and create a morning routine you don't have to actually think about. Just repeat, repeat, repeat. And I want to be really clear with planning all this stuff out, right? Keep it as simple as humanly possible. As simple as humanly possible. Things that you know that you're going to be able to do. when you plan your meals out on Sunday, keep the meals ridiculously simple. You don't need to do like a complex recipe or make it super complex, right? Super simple. Laying the workout clothes before the night before, awesome. You could do that. I even at sometimes when I'm super busy, I lay out my workout clothes for literally 5 days because I pretty much wear the same outfits, right? So like I can just lay it out. And I think the misconception with doing these things is that it's going to take a long time. Like you're like, oh my goodness, you're like, I gotta plan my meals, I gotta do this. And if you actually sit down, compile the plan for all of these things, you will notice that when you do it, it might take you like 90 minutes max, which is not that a large amount of time as you think, right? You might be thinking it's going to take you all day to do that. It can literally take you 90 minutes. Okay? 90 minutes out of 160 hours of the week. Absolutely, it's a game changer to set yourself up for success. What decisions are you having to make every single day, whether it be the clothes you wear, what you eat, the workouts you're supposed to do? Like just pre-plan it out at the beginning of the week. I know sometimes it can feel confining, but if you have it already laid out for you, one, you're going to be more likely to succeed. And two, like we're talking about here, your mental energy is going to be way less drained. You're not going to be as drained from doing it. Second, starting your day in reactive mode. So this is when you're checking your email or social media first thing. You're training your brain to respond to other people's priorities and not your own. And once you start reactive, your day stays reactive, okay? And the fix is to protect your first hour. Use it for movement, journaling, planning, or silence. Give your brain a calm start. I believe I just saw a podcast with Mel Robbins, which Mel, if you're ever listening to this, I want to be on your podcast. Manifesting that. And she said she's like literally just protect the first, she said like 15 minutes, not even an hour. She's like, protect the first 15 minutes of your day, like truly, because as soon as we pick up our phone, that's when everything can go out the window. So if we can leave the phone up by our side, do the things that we need to do first so we can not start in reactive mode, it is going to be a game changer for your day. It's going to help the productivity. It's going to help your mental energy, because even if you are getting tasks done later on the day, you might still have this lingering piece of something that you might have saw on your phone. Or for me, I'll wake up and all of a sudden, like I have, people on my team that are needing things, and all of a sudden I'm starting to go right in and react instead of setting my boundary and being like, no, I need to, keep my phone down. And when I sit down at my desk, and for that a lot of time, I will work on this. So really taking control of this. And again, I want to come back to this whole piece is like, this is for mental energy. This is to give you more space, and just try it. If you're nervous to do it and you're like, just give it a go. Give it a go for like 7 days and just see how much it completely changes your day. Third is information overload. Your brain isn't designed for the volume of information we consume daily. And every notification, every news alert, every scroll is literally draining your focus. And the fix here is to really set boundaries with this, to check your email twice a day, to limit the news once a day, to unfollow accounts that trigger your comparison. The bottom line, your brain is not a machine, so protect your energy accordingly. And if you're having like any trouble with getting your brain to like with all the scrolling and all that stuff like that, because this could be like something that's super addictive. We call it a dopamine addiction. I do have a full Substack article on a dopamine detox that I did with my clients, where I had them actually turn their phone on black and white. I had them delete all social media from their phone and just see the changes they had for 7 days by doing that. And let me tell you something, I put all the stats on there, like they saw a huge difference in their life with it. Okay, so now let's talk about the other types of energy drains, which is the physical energy drains, okay? Because your body is the fountain for everything. So if your body is depleted, your mind and emotions are going to be too, right? And here's where your physical energy is leaking. The first one is poor sleep. So if you're not getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep, you are operating on a deficit. And it's costing you your focus, your mood, your decision-making, and resilience. And you can't hustle through exhaustion. So the fix is setting a consistent bedtime, creating a wind down routine your body needs to rest and recharge. And if you're having trouble with it, there's so many random hacks and stuff that you can do in order to help you go to bed. I don't know if I did a podcast episode on it. Maybe I didn't. I can't remember. I think I did do one that did pretty well, like the wind down routine. If you go back earlier, Go listen to that episode. I'm telling you, it has all the hacks that you can do in order to actually get yourself to create a good bedtime routine. The second is sitting all day. So movement creates energy and sitting depletes it. So when you don't move, everything is going to slow down. Your circulation, your metabolism, your mood, your focus. And the fix of this is to take a 10-minute walk after lunch, stretch between meetings, and stand and move every hour. You might even need to set an alarm on your phone to do this because it's so easy to just get like in the zone and not do it at all. And third, eating inconsistently. Skipping meals, surviving on caffeine, meaning you're running on empty. So your blood sugar crashes, it leads to brain fog and irritability. The fix is to really eat regular meals, to prioritize protein, to stay hydrated. Your energy will stabilize with that. And if you're having trouble with that, do a meal prep service for a week, right? There's so many hacks that you can do in order to make this happen. The bottom line is your body is the vehicle that carries you through life, and it needs care. It needs care. If your foundation isn't solid, you're not going to be able to do any of the goals or achieve anything that you want. So stop putting that behind you. Let's put it first and don't make it complicated. We can simplify everything. Simplify everything. The third one is your emotional energy drains, okay? And this is where most women give away their power without even realizing it. So again, emotional energy drains, okay? And here's where emotional energy is leaking. First, people pleasing. Every time you say yes when you mean no, you're giving away your energy. You're prioritizing someone else's comfort over your own capacity. And you start to build resentment from that. So in order to fix this, practice saying no without even over-explaining. You don't need to explain. I can't commit to that right now, sorry. That doesn't work for me. And you don't owe anybody an explanation. As a people pleaser over here, I need this. I need this. Like me. This is what I need to do. Second, suppressing your feelings. When you push down what you feel, it doesn't go away. It gets stored in your body. And carrying that weight drains you constantly. The fix is to let yourself feel. Journal it out. Talk to a friend. Move your body to release tension. And when you process emotions, they move through you instead of getting stuck. I say this in my keynote all the time. Feel it fully. You got to feel it, write it down and move it, and then set a deadline for it so it doesn't get stuck. Talk about that all the time in my keynotes. And third, carrying resentment. Holding on to resentment is a constant drain. So it's like this background app that you forgot to close, right? The fix is to have that hard conversation, to set the boundary, or to release the resentment by accepting that you can't control what they did, only how much space that you give it. But the bottom line is protecting your emotional energy is not selfish. I know it might feel selfish. It's not selfish. This is self-respect. Okay? It's not selfish. And the fourth one, relationship energy drains. Because not all relationships are created equal. Some are going to fuel you, and some are going to drain you. And here's where your relationship energy is leaking. First, your one-sided relationship. So if you're always the one initiating, listening, and showing up, that is draining. And I'm going through this so much right now with people. The fix is to step back and see what happens. If the relationship falls apart when you stop doing all the work, it will never be reciprocal. Redirect your energy to people who meet you halfway. I'm the kind of person who, like, when I become best friends with somebody, I'm like, we're best friends forever. And I put all this energy into it. And then I realized when I started stepping away from some of these relationships and I wasn't getting the same back, I was like, you know what? I can't keep doing this. And second, toxic friendships. Some people only show up when they need something from you, right? They maybe vent, they complain, and they really take your time. But when you need support, they're not there. They're gone. And the fix to that is to adjust how much energy you give to people who aren't giving back to you. Protect your time. Save your energy for people who reciprocate, because I'm sure there are amazing people in your life who are who will reciprocate that? And third, boundary violation. Some people don't respect your no. They push, they guilt trip you, and they make you feel bad for having limits. And the fix to this is holding your boundaries without apologizing. I understand you're disappointed, but this is what works for me. Setting the boundary. The bottom line is you're allowed to walk away from relationships that cost too much. The most important relationship that you have and the most important relationship that you need to be with is the person that you're with the most, which is yourself. So that's who you need to respect. And the right people, they'll stay. The right people will stay. The people who aren't meant to stay, they won't. And maybe there's just some people who are just like floating relationships who are there. Great. But they're not the ones that you're going to put your energy into anymore. And the fifth one, your environment energy. Your environment either supports your energy or it drains it. And here's where your environmental energy is leaking. First is clutter, okay? When your space is cluttered, your mind feels cluttered, okay? Your brain is constantly processing all the visual noise around you, and it is exhausting, which is why I'm so big about making your bed, cleaning your space at night before you go to bed. And what you can do to just make it super simple so you're not freaking out about it is just clear one space this week, okay? Maybe it's your desk, maybe it's your nightstand, maybe it's just your car. But physical order creates mental clarity, and you always feel so much better when the space is clear. Second, constant noise. If you're always in loud environments, maybe it's the background TV, the busy coffee shops, the chaotic households, your nervous system never gets to rest. You're in a constant state of low-level stress. In order to fix this, you need to create pockets of silence in your day. So turn off the TV, put on noise-canceling headphones, find quiet spaces where your nervous system can literally just rest. Just sit with yourself. And third, a chaotic schedule. If you're back-to-back all day with no breaks, you are running on fumes and there is no time to transition, no time to think, and no time to reset. I had someone who came into one of my calls for pull-ups and we were talking about her schedule. I'm like, make sure you set in your Calendly that little 15-minute space between your meetings so you have some time, right? So the fix is here is to build buffer time into your schedule. So block out 15 to 30 minutes between meetings and give yourself the transition time. Your calendar needs white space. That's where your brain actually gets to rest. And the bottom line is your environment shapes your energy. If your space and your schedule are chaotic, you are going to be too. And listen, I know, like we just went through a lot right now. I want you to take what you need from this, right? Pick one thing from this episode. And I want to bring this home and a reminder that your energy is your most valuable resource. Your energy is your most valuable resource, and the most people are leaking it everywhere without even realizing it. So when you do this energy audit, when you go through, and feel free to listen to this episode again and take notes on each part, pause it as you're going through, right? Get clear on where your power is going, and you can actually start to protect it. But let's recap this one more time for the areas as to where you could be bleeding your energy. And like I said, feel free to repeat this episode, take notes on it. So the first one, mental energy, right? So try and batch your decisions ahead of time, protect your first hour of the day, and set boundaries around the information overload. Physical energy, prioritize sleep like it is a non-negotiable. Move your body daily, eat consistently, and fuel it properly. Emotional energy, stop people pleasing and stop saying yes when you mean no. Let yourself feel your feelings instead of suppressing them, and release resentment before it drains you constantly. Relationship energy, step back from the one-sided relationships and protect your time from toxic friendships. You need to hold on to your boundaries without apologizing. And environmental energy. Clear the clutter in your space, create pockets of silence in your day, build the buffer time in your schedule so you're not running on fumes anymore. So here's what I want you to do this week. I just want you to pick one, okay? Pick one drain, just one, and track when it happens and how it makes you feel. Then take one action to plug it up. Remember, this is gonna be slowly, gotta do this slowly. Maybe you batch your decisions on Sunday, going back to setting out the clothes or making the meals. Maybe you say no to one thing. Maybe you take a walk after lunch. Just start super small, okay? That is where you're gonna be able to get consistent and actually push through this. Because one drain plugged at a time is how you really can reclaim your power again. Now, if this episode gave you clarity, please share it with someone who's been running on empty. And don't forget to follow What If It All Goes Right on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and leave a quick rating or review. And remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. So stop leaking, start protecting, and reclaim your energy. What if it all goes right?